Hi everybody, this is Dustin Olverson with Grid Richmond, and what I wanted to talk about today is how hard it is to flip houses. I really want to talk about it. I really want to talk a little bit more about it. Before I get there, make sure if this is on YouTube that you go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe, do all those great things. If you're trying to sell a house, or if you're a wholesaler and wanting to sell a house or would like us to buy your house, please reach out. Add me to the buyers list. My email is dustin@olversons.com. Add me to your buyers list and let's get in there. We're not ones to wholesale houses. We're actually looking to buy houses, so we are buyers. We are also real estate agents with One Dream Realty and EXP, and we flip houses. Well, I do majority, and a lot of us on Richmond Grid. So we do those types of things. So we're going to talk about, this is more of a luxurious home. This house does get up to the $500,000 price range. Not my favorite price range to actually flip on houses. But what I wanted to share is how I sucked on this house and not just talk about all the great things. So we did get this house at a very discounted rate. So yes, we did get the house discounted. We did get it from a wholesaler. And I mean, it was way under 40% on the dollar. You know, it's probably 30% on the dollar. Great find, but I've been in it in over a year. I've been in it so long that I actually had to pay balloon payments, higher than normal interest. Luckily, I got a great relationship with the lender. And they're like, hey, Dustin, you've done so much for us and with us. We're not worried about it. You're just gonna pay your penalties until it's done. Keep on moving. So that's exactly what we did. We never give up. We keep pushing as much as we can, but it is hard. So one of the things that we messed up on this one was not realizing how much work it takes. Also, I was also in a different level real estate investment when I got this house almost 18 months ago than where I'm at now. You evolve very quickly in real estate, especially when you put in the time and the effort in. And holy cow, do I put a lot of time and effort in. And if you ever wonder, like, how do you scale and how do you grow? Well, that is one of the things you have to do, is you got to put in the time. So I'm going to go ahead and begin the video. I'm going to go ahead and put the phone down here and we're going to talk about it. So I would say effort. So the amount of time and the team that I have to do the amount of flips and the activities that it takes to get the amount of houses, which we need to have about 15 to 20 in construction at any given time to get to about approximately 40 per year. Why 40 per year? Well, that's that magical number that I came back with to be able to scale, grow, and make enough profit. Trading time for money still exists for me because I tend to be the talent of finding the deals, assessing the deals, and structuring the complexities of the different types of finances, which could be a lease to own, it could be an owner finance, it could be a bridge loan on top of a equity loan on top of another loan of a private money lender. It is the relationships in the network that I have with hard money lenders and contractors, which at the end of the day really becomes the most important part. So when you find the house, that's great, but now do you have the relationships with the contractors to keep the house at a lower enough amount to make that profit? So you have, and then you have the money, the financing part. Can you get the money and leverage the money at a lower enough rate so that also doesn't squeeze your profitability? So you need the house, you need the lender, and you need the contractor. But you also have to have great relationships with those and know how to leverage them. Because if you're flipping the house, you know, and you make $40,000 off of a flip, but you are in there for 6 months, you really gotta do divided by 40 and really kind of see where your profit is, right? So you may not be as profitable as you think when you kind of divide your time and what you put into the house. So if you were in a house for, 4 months and you made $20,000, you made $5,000 for 4 months. Not that you walked away with $20,000 at the end. Your time is valuable, is something I learned. So I have about 12 VAs. I have an entire construction team. I have a great team of real estate agent partners. I have a portfolio of private money lenders that I can reach out to do bridge loans. and I have high amounts of loans or lines of credit with private money and hard money, and into the millions where that I could pull to put down on the house. What I've learned to do is to leverage private money and hard money and put them together and bridge that. So I will get a loan for this house, for example, for $150,000. And then what I will do is do a gap funding with another private money lender and say, hey, I need $30,000 to put down on that. My hard money covers the construction amount, so I'm not worried about that. But I may need $40,000 just to put down on this property to actually close on it. You're like, well, Dustin, you guys are doing a lot of flips. What does that matter? Well, it matters a lot when you're trying to do 10, 20, 30, or 40. So if you're putting $30,000, $40,000 in a flip, just 10 of them is $300,000. And that cash can be tied up. So you can't count it until it comes back. So having the private money lenders able to bridge or gap fund your hard money will leave you a lot of liquid for things that go wrong, or jumping on a property that you actually do want to put your money in. So that's something that we do. But time, the amount of time that it takes to actually flip is unrealized for a lot of people. And putting money, I'd say we'd probably put $100,000, not $80,000 to $100,000 in this flip. And my philosophy is, it doesn't matter how ugly the house is. If you throw 80 grand at anything, it's gonna look really good. And that tends to be the case almost on most square footage. But it's not about how much money you put in a house. It's about the balance of putting the right amount of money, your energy, and your time, and looking at this as an entity, and is the return on investment worth it? This is a 6-figure return, so it's definitely worth it. And it's actually a multiple 6-figure return, which doesn't happen too often. We only get about 2 or 3 of those a year. So something I learned was leveraging time and working really hard. You're gonna have to work hard to actually get in here and do a flip. If you're thinking you're gonna do 2, 3 flips a year and put minimal effort in there, you probably could get away with it, but you won't be able to do that repeatedly, and you won't be able to scale it. To do massive scale and massive volume, you're gonna have to put a lot of time and a lot of energy. Today is a Sunday, and this is probably the 3rd or 4th Sunday in a row that I have worked. I tend to work 7 days a week on average, and then in about 90 days, I'll take a good break. So I do have a break coming up, and I'll take 3 or 4 days off. I'm going to New York, I have a funeral to go to, and I'll take some me time and think, is that good? Is that good that you work that many hours? I would say yes and no. There's a balance. So I've learned that some of my most productive thought is, of course, when I'm off, because you have all these things come crash to your head, and all the thoughts come to you while you're sitting on the beach, or you're at the swimming pool, or you're getting a massage. Then you get excited to get back to implement them. So I sometimes wonder if I just had more time to think and be the visionary, would that really show a great return in the business? And I do think that is the case, but I also do believe you have to get there first. And the way you get there first is putting a lot of effort and a lot of work. And working on Saturdays and Sundays and you're flipping houses should be normal. Putting $80,000 to $100,000 in a house is not normal. My average flip should range about $35,000 to $45,000, and that is brushed nickel finishes. That is in average neighborhoods, because that's where you're gonna find your greatest return, and not in the high-end neighborhoods. It's just not there, just to look good and feel good because you did this great product. And I know a lot of people that have done a lot of them this year, and the returns are not there. And if the return is for a sample like this one, it doesn't come around too often. It just doesn't, So, I aim for the 1,000 square foot, 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom rancher, and I try to make $45,000 to $50,000 profit off of each one of those. And then, believe it or not, I have to split that, one with Uncle Sam, and then 2, usually with another partner, because it's rare that I do a deal alone, because I want to value maximize, and I want to leverage my relationships. That allows me to get further, scale faster, and do more. And the more successful and the more I rise other people doing this that can understand my philosophy and understand the mindset of everything, the faster we could grow together. So it's really rare. I don't think I've done a flip this year by myself. I've always had a partner on it, or partnered with somebody to take it down. And because of those partnerships, I'm able to do a whole lot more. So finding a partner is very important. The house itself, you need cash flow, but you also need deal flow. You need great relationships with contractors, which are built over time. You're gonna pay heavy in the beginning, and as you build that relationship, it will get lower. And the same thing with the lenders. You need all types of lenders. I have lenders that are like 20%. I have lenders that go all the way down to 9 to 8%. And I want that variable because I know you hear 20%, you're like, oh my God, Dustin, but if you do it in 3 or 4 months, it's just not that heavy. You're talking about $8,000 or $9,000 on interest payments and everything else, which may get you a $40,000 return. Definitely worth it for me and how I do business. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this video out. Hopefully some of this information is helpful for you. So this house will be coming up very shortly, and it is a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom. It's in the heart of Richmond, a great location. So what I love to showcase is this what the team does. So in the higher level houses, I tend to do a little bit more higher level quartz. I might do like a level 2. My appliances will be a higher grade appliances. My microwave is drawer mount, and then my sinks will actually be a little bit different as well. So we want a darker sink. And then I'll also show you what we did in the bathroom, which I will tend to do on a higher level house. I don't do this in every house, but we have the skill and ability to do it when needed. So look at the next clip and I'll be going up to the kitchen. Oh, sorry, the bathroom. All right, so I'm upstairs on the 2nd level, and I'm gonna go ahead and share the bathroom. What we do different on these is you're gonna see a lot of wall mounted versus deck mounted. And deck mounted is this exactly what it is. The faucets are usually coming out of the deck. But you'll see here, a lot of the faucets are coming out of the wall. So that's something that we do different on a higher level house, and we'll actually do wall mounted fixtures. You know, maybe even the toilets will be different. And it has a lot more detail in the property than what you would see on a house that's $200,000 or $300,000. But I have to make sure the return is worth it. And mastering that versus just throwing money at houses just to make them look good. And I see a lot of real estate agent investors doing that. And you gotta be careful. And I know you're representing your clients and you're talking to them about how the house needs to look. But what you find out is when it comes to cash out, after paying the realtor fees, closing costs 2 or 3 times, because when we acquisition, we usually pay the closing costs twice. You know, we usually pay for the buy side and the sell side. And then we sell the house again, and then we got to pay concessions and the sell side's closing costs. I just talked about $15,000 to $20,000 on a house like this, just in closing costs. And if you're not in the know of understanding what it takes to take down a house like this, you really hurt your investor when you ask them to put $70,000, $80,000 on a house, trying to get an ARV that they can get top of the ARV with only putting $60,000. But hey, the vents are not all changed. The trim is not perfect, and you kept the doors. Just changing doors on a house like this is about $2,800. Putting trim on a house like this is about $4,500. So just saving that type of money when you don't have to do it can mean great return on the bottom line for an investor. Well, everybody, that will be the end of the video. I'm getting a little bit more complex with them, as in I'm making it a little bit longer. I'm talking a lot more, so bear with me as I get better. I'm cutting and editing or sending to the team. I actually got fun doing some of the videos. But hopefully that you got something from this. And the biggest thing is what I'm really trying to get across is if you really want to flip houses, you got to put a lot of time in it. And it takes a lot of time and energy. It takes hundreds of hours, 10,000 to be exact, probably, to really get to a level at doing this at volume. And I worked really hard to try to get my 10,000 hours. so that I could level up and get to where I wanted to be faster. And now I'm kind of starting to enjoy the journey where I'm actually making little mini versions of me, and they're actually doing what I did when I started out. But these are people that have the talent and want to, and the passion to put in the time to get the results out. And that's working 7 days a week. And I've done it for the last 3 years at least, with very little vacation and very little bit of time off, and making sure with the time that I do put into real estate has a value to it. So it's not a lot of talking, it's not a lot of watching or sitting or going down aisles of Home Depot, but it's actually getting my feet into houses like this that need renovated. It's actually getting my butt in seats and having conversation with lenders and contractors and other investors, so I can either get the knowledge or make the relationships. So I really focused and made sure my time was very purposeful, so I got a lot of return for it. Because in the beginning, your time does not equal money, it equals knowledge and understanding. If you don't put the time to get that, and you're thinking you're knowing it all because you watched it, or just because you have that confidence, that ego is going to really catch you. And the only thing you're going to learn the hard way is you don't know a lot. And the only way you can is it takes people to show you and to get in a room in the proximity of those that have the time. And the biggest thing you'll learn the quickest is your contractor, the general contractor, they don't go to school to learn how to renovate houses. You know, teaching and mentoring, coaching your contractor, and you going off to each other and balancing to come up with templates that produce a product that you're happy with, that gets the results and return you want, takes a lot of time. And you're gonna have to fail on a lot of houses and take a lot of houses not being okay, but being all right to get to okay, to get to good, to get to excellent, to get to perfect. And I'm nowhere near perfect yet, and I've done over 100. But working with these contractors and building the relationships to get to that product is part of the journey. And I see so many people get into a house and wanting it to be perfect on the first shot. You're just not gonna get what you want, your expectations are gonna be too high, and your return is gonna be lower than expected. Take your time to get the knowledge, get in proximity, humble yourself, learn to trade. This is a trade, learn to skill, and go to meetups. Go to meetups like we have Grid Richmond, and we have a meetup every third Wednesday at 6 p.m. at the Common House. Look me up and look up Grid Richmond, and you'll find me there and a whole bunch of our investors. All right, guys, I hope you have a great day and you enjoy this video. If they need to get better or they've gotten better, give me some feedback so I know. All right, bye.